Record. Welcome to our open tabs.
What toot? What toot?
Toot toot. What root?
What root?
What root? What root? That's what we call it down here in Tennessee. The what root. I'm Mara.
I'm Jess. I don't know why I said it like that.
Because we're fresh off recording our Duggar episode and you've got some lingering Michelle energy in your body.
Hi, thank you for joining our podcast.
Thank you for blessing us today with your presence. Actually, on that note, I do feel like we need to have a lot of similar trigger warnings, guys. Oof. Unfortunately, I feel like we have a recurring theme so far in our episodes, which is people really not treating children well. So we're about to talk about the Colleen Ballinger situation.
Oh, I have not been watching those because I'm like, not right now. So great. You could tell me about it.
Yeah. So this is so I should set this in context. As of this recording, Colleen has not made an official statement. However, I feel very confident in everything we're about to talk about because I have divided this conversation into things that have happened publicly and privately. And everything, if we just looked at the things that have happened publicly, it's enough to make some determinations without her response. So, content warnings for bad stuff to children, child exploitation, bad things to animals, bad things with racist stuff, charity fraud, many things.
Good grief.
We have just a cornucopia of problems to go over today.
Great.
So, Jess, what do you know about Colleen Ballinger?
Okay, if this is who I'm thinking of, is this the same person who was Miranda Sings?
Yes.
The only thing I know about her is that I never liked her because her lipstick, her thing where it was just I could not. It drove me up a wall. So I never watched anything. And then that's why I've been surprised recently. I was like, is she still like relevant? So I was shocked because I never really got into her content. So she was never in my hemisphere, thankfully. That's all I know.
Same. I think I didn't even realize that Colleen Ballinger and Miranda Sings were the same person until 2020. Because I think we were frankly too old to really have watched her in her heyday.
Like, what did she even do? What was she just sang?
So let's do a quick, and I was not one who was watching, so I may be wrong in some of these details. Surprisingly, H3H3 has probably the best overall overview of this. So we're going to take one clip from them, but in general, Olivia on that show did a great job of summarizing everything. But what I have gathered is that Colleen Ballinger, aka Miranda Sings, was an OG YouTuber. So beginning of the platform, back when people are recording on a potato, and her shtick was that she had this character called Miranda Sings. So in real life, Colleen Ballinger is a theater nerd and has a really nice voice. She is a good singer, but this character has this kind of weird affected accent where she talks like this kind of. And she sings badly, and she's super judgmental and has religious trauma, so she's just a jerk to everyone. And is meant to be a funny character. It appeals mostly, it seems to the under 20 demo.
Yeah, okay.
And she, to your point, she also would draw her lipstick all over her face in a way that I agree was very off-putting.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Hated it.
So, but she was so successful that she actually got some mainstream traction. So she had 2 Netflix shows, or she had a Netflix show with 2 seasons.
Wow.
This was in probably 2014 or 2015. She's had several like nationwide tours that do really well that she makes money from. She's had a couple of best-selling books, which we'll talk a little bit more about. And she's been on like the Tonight Show, and I mean, she's gotten some like mainstream success in her time.
Okay, I didn't know all that.
Yeah. So I didn't really know anything. Like I said, I didn't realize that Colleen Ballinger is the same person as Miranda Sings for a long time. The first time I'd heard of her was in 2020 at the beginning of lockdown. That timing is important for something that we're going to find out about. She was also on a couple of seasons of Escape the Night. Did you ever watch this show?
No.
It is a YouTube only show, and it's kind of like a murder mystery, or not murder mystery, but like conspiracy game show. It's almost like they're recording like when you have those parties where everybody comes dressed up and you have to like figure out who done it.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like that, but like up to 100 with like obstacle courses and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And she was on a season of that I really enjoyed. And I was watching that when I was recovering from surgery at the beginning of the pandemic in like March. That and Shark Tank were like my two go-tos. So that was like the only thing I knew about her was her, not her as Miranda Sings, but her playing herself. Cut to in April, she gets into some drama. Shocking. I know. About well, if you'll remember, in 2020, I feel like a lot of people got exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but I should say, Jess, you do not follow YouTube drama, correct?
No, I feel like the biggest part of YouTube drama I ever kept up with was like the beauty YouTube gate, kind of starting with, but around, because there were so many. Starting with Jacqueline and her lipsticks, and then some James Charles and Shane Dawson. But like, I don't watch a majority of the YouTube sphere. I watch very few things. Oh Lord, my dog. So yeah, I don't follow a lot of the YouTube drama.
Well, and commenters, let us know if you would like to have episodes of me explaining YouTube drama to Jess more after this, because there's so many things that you have not encountered that I think you would enjoy.
I know.
And I should say, I also want to do a series. I've been gathering notes called Lying Liars Who Lie. I think that this is a series that could have infinite parts to it.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it would never end.
And several of them include YouTubers lying about very stupid things. So, okay, but so since you're not as up on that, in 2020, the shit hit the fan for a lot of people. James Charles, this is when Shane Dawson had his like full resurgence of like, holy shit, what has this man been posting on the internet aimed at children? Like there was a lot of people getting kind of like exposed in this time frame. And she had a minor one of those in like April, May, June timeframe. And because of what happened in this, I had encountered her on that Escape the Night show. And as soon as this happened, I was like, oh, you're a creep. And I stopped. I was like, I don't want to say anything with this woman anymore. But that was not the consensus of the internet. So what had happened was a tweet comes out. Actually, you know what? Let me see. Let me go ahead and share. So what happens is that in 2020, she has a tweet that goes out that is not received well. Basically this must have been in June because it was for Pride. So the Miranda character kind of like trolls people. So she sent a tweet out from her Miranda account hyping up that she was coming out, and then she came out as a Meghan Trainor fan.
Really
stupid, but like whatever. I mean, like, and people basically said it was queer baiting. It is technically. I don't think it's like the word anyway. Yeah. Well, that tweet actually was sent by somebody named Adam McIntyre. Do you know who Adam McIntyre is by chance?
No.
So he's now a drama channel. At the time, he was a 17-year-old who she had given her password to Twitter after she approved some tweets for him to send out that he had suggested. So he suggested this as like funny, whatever. It didn't go well. She freaks out that she's getting canceled, which she was, but like it was not a big one, especially considering everything else that was going on in 2020. But she freaked out, cut him off, and then he found out she was like shit talking him to other people, which we'll get more into.
What was he to her? Like,
it's a great question. He's a fan.
Oh, why does he? Okay.
Yep.
Why does he?
These are all. We're starting with the public things. We're going to start at the public and then get into the private, because what's happening behind this is absolutely bananas. So he, though, is really hurt by that, and he like starts reprocessing some of the things that have been going on, and he makes a video explaining that he was the one behind that tweet. And he also shares during that video that he is in that she's done some other inappropriate things with him, including this thing we're about to watch.
Oh boy.
Hit play.
Adam.
Oh my god.
So cute.
Please give me the dress. Oh my god. Those clothes are nasty. He's so rude. Oh my god. You guys, you're killing me. Okay. Oh my god, he's so sassy. Oh my god, this is hilarious.
Adam just donated or left a comment. He said, "No, Adam, a member for 6 months."
Oh,
Let's
Sweetheart. Oh my god.
14. Fuck you.
Right.
sorry.
Your Twitter account is making me laugh so much. Clean boobs are bursting out of every outfit I approve. Corey is still chilling with lingerie on. Ew, that's an ugly shirt. No, put that shirt in the bin.
She's reading. She's going over his Twitter account.
Yeah, she's laughing at all the funny stuff he says.
Do you want the bra, Adam?
Do you want the brown panties? Tweet right now.
That's Corey.
Oh my god.
That's like lingerie. That's not even like a bra, right?
Yeah, that's and panties.
That's like
It's a matching set.
Okay. So you can see from that during this live show, she's giving out she's doing like a try on haul, new stuff, and she offers to send him this lingerie set she doesn't want. At the time she sends this to him, he was 14 and living in Ireland. Like he's an Irish little boy. So in his response to her in 2020, he also shows that he has this lingerie set and says like, she sent this to me when I was 14. At the time I thought it was funny, but now I realize like this was really weird.
Extremely.
What? Extremely weird. And so like that becomes the narrative of like, oh, she's, like doing these inappropriate things with fans. At the same time, it's also coming up that she posted some racist videos early in her career. I know you're shocked to hear that a YouTuber from early YouTube was doing racist skits.
What?
I know. So that comes up, and this story that she tells about how when she was a little girl, she got her dog put down because she baited it into biting her, and then they put the dog down. Yeah, I mean, she was a kid, but like the way she tells this story is she's like laughing about it and like being really weird about the fact that she got this beloved family pet euthanized for no reason.
How old is she? Did she say how old she was?
She was 3 when that happened.
Mm.
So like little her, I don't have any whatever.
Yeah.
But it's the way so anyway, that's what people are criticizing at the time. So those are the things that happened. She comes on YouTube and makes an apology video. Let me see if I've got that. Okay, yes. Let me just play the very beginning of this because my whole thesis of this is that what she says at the beginning of this apology is incorrect. That it's like categorically incorrect. Okay, this is Adam reacting to it. I'm trying not to, just for context, the reason I'm picking these things from other people's streams is I don't want to give her a view. I'm trying to give them the view rather than looking at the original. So, okay.
I sent a child underwear, and wow, anyone who heard this out of context and was offended.
Do you need context? If anyone heard that I sent a child underwear, you need the
this
context.
Is Adam, by the way.
Okay, show the context that you edited, but we'll get to that.
I completely understand because I would be too. But in this situation, context is everything. So
About sending a child underwear.
well, I would like to give you some context to this situation. 4 years ago.
Okay, so the reason I wanted to show that is because that's how she frames it, is like, I know this sounds weird, but like if I tell you the full story, it's going to be less weird. You know, like I took full accountability for this. I shouldn't have done it, but like this is a one-off thing. This is just weird, a weird bad judgment on my part. So I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry that I was racist. I shouldn't have done that. And I'm sorry that I was being so weird about getting my dog killed. Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah. Oh, great apology.
Well, this is really well received.
Of course it is.
People are like, she is taking accountability. She is taking ownership. She's not blaming anyone.
Queen.
But I'm with you. At the time, I'm like, okay, but did anyone else just hear that she admitted she did this? Like,
Don't worry, that's not what matters.
yeah. So she's trying to argue it's like all about the context, whatever. And like maybe I would have believed that, or like, I guess I could see why people might fall for that. But let me provide you more context about what is publicly available and what is now surfacing today in 2023, which is the reason why she is not just Shane Dawson canceled right now. I would argue she's like beyond that, because the things that have come out are, in my opinion, worse than what we found out about Shane Dawson.
Dang.
So here are some things that we know. She has been having these live shows for years, like I mentioned. Some of the skits that she does in these live shows with children, ages 7 to 16, let's say.
Who are the children?
The children that come to the live show. She like brings them up on stage.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about a YouTube live show, but in person. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So that's a good clarification. She goes on tour. And when she's on tour, she brings fans up on stage and like does skits with them.
Okay.
One of those skits is specifically a young boy. It's always a young boy who she makes her bae. And on their date, she has them reach into her pants to get a snack.
Her pocket? Or
no.
in
Her pants, like waistband open, put your hand in.
Okay. Are there parents at this show?
There are, shockingly enough. She does that. There's one girl whose clip has gone viral, and I thought about showing you this, but I think it's really it's just an exploitative clip, and I just don't want to show it. It's hers to show or to not show, I feel like. But I can describe it to you. She was 16. Colleen brings her up on stage, or sorry, Colleen. Her name is pronounced Colleen, which for whatever reason really irritates me.
Interesting. I thought it was, just seeing it, I'm like, Colleen.
I know. It's Colleen, which I just don't like. Anyway, that's her parents' fault, not hers. Her fan is wearing like a short romper thing that like hits probably upper mid thigh, and she brings her up on stage and she does a yoga challenge with her where she has the fan lay on her back. The fan then puts her legs up in the air with her private area exposed to Colleen. So it's not facing the audience, it's facing Colleen. And then Colleen opens her legs as far as they will go and then plays a fart noise. Like, that's the joke.
And you said these tours do well. People just keep going to them.
Yes.
Interesting.
It's
Why? What? You could do that. So you could do that in such a different way. You could play a fart noise. You can just have someone, I don't know, walk, fart noise. Sit down, fart noise.
or if you wanted to do that skit, pick an adult who's in the audience to do it. Like, it didn't have to be a child, but she chooses to, like, here's the other fucked up thing. The kids purposely wear skimpy clothes because they know they're more likely to get picked for some of these skits if they're wearing less clothes.
Ew.
Yeah, I just don't, like, I don't know that I want to be somebody who is having shows where kids are like, oh, I should wear less clothes to it so that she'll pick me.
Children.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So at these live shows,
I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Why?
So these are just like recurring skits, and like there's been footage of this out on the internet for a long time, but very similar to Shane Dawson. I think people not putting all of it together at the same time, you like, if you do look at it in isolation, maybe you can just pass a couple of them off as like bad judgment.
Mm-hmm.
But as you start bringing it all together, it's just painting more and more of a like specific picture. Okay, so then I just put a heading called sexual stuff that's publicly available. She is just highly sexually inappropriate in this character, especially considering she knows that it's mostly kids watching her. Mm-hmm. Things like her Miranda character is canonically a victim of child assault from her uncle and makes jokes about it all the time, including in her books. She like has this character that I literally couldn't even watch more than a little bit of it, where it's her and her best friend Corey, who we will get to, playing like these characters where they just are always like eating food in a sexual way, like hot dogs and whatever. I think that one of them is named Labia. It was like Sam and Labia were the characters' names. It's just like she has like drawing, like how to draw a vagina joke in the book.
What are her books? What are the book? Are the books supposed to be from the perspective of Miranda?
Yes, they're supposed to be in character, and this is how she's gotten away with it. I think is that it's like, oh, it's satire, it's whatever, and it's like, it doesn't matter if you're aiming the satire at children to consume, or if you know that the primary consumers of the satire you're doing are children. Yeah. So like there's just a ton of very like she has all these grape jokes constantly, like all the time. So like I could just show you an entire montage.
So funny. Right.
So yeah. So just like all the sexual stuff. Next heading is racism and fat phobia. Like I mentioned, she has like some really offensive characters she did with her sister as like Hispanic women. That's gross. She also, so I don't know a ton about this. This is going to be my caveat that I have not seen the clips people are referring to, so I'm taking them at their word. But apparently a lot of her content can be considered body checking.
What's that mean?
So it's where people with eating disorders like purposefully show off how thin their body is.
Okay.
To like validate that they're as thin as they think they are, and to like build a weird dynamic with other people telling them how thin they are. So she does that, and then she also is just like very fat phobic. She's told a bunch of fat phobic jokes. She has this horrible story she tells about this woman who was seated next to her on a plane. By the way, as a fat person on planes, let me just speak on behalf of my people and say that, trust me, we are as, if not more uncomfortable having to sit next to you than you are having to sit next to us. It's the airline's fault for making these seats so tiny.
Yes.
Talk to them, not to me.
I want to fight them.
Yeah. So she does that. More stuff comes out about her animal abuse. So like I literally couldn't watch this one either. There was like an entire montage of her like torturing her cats, basically. Like she had one in
character.
Yes.
Or
yeah. She had one in a paper bag and was holding it closed.
I'm actually surprised that hasn't got her canceled because now, I love my dog, but white people usually are like, you abuse an animal? That's the last straw. How is this?
Again, I think people just thought it was sort of like one-offy things.
Wow.
So there's that. And then the last one I have under public is fundraising. So she has done a lot of fundraising for various children cancer charities. However, and I don't know how to say, like, all this is allegedly, because I think we need more information to understand exactly what's going on here.
Mhm.
I think basically what people are surmising she does is she collects all of this money from her fans as donations
Mhm.
to herself, and then she gives all, we don't know, because she never is transparent about how much was raised, to these charities. So there is evidence online of her having made large donations to the charities, but she gets that as a tax write-off
Mhm.
because technically it's her revenue that she then gives.
Yeah. When you're saying the money that she gets from fans, are you just saying like her AdSense stuff that she gets, or like people just send her money outside of that?
A specific donation for the charity, or like it's a
Oh.
fundraiser for the charity.
Okay.
But it goes through this platform called Fundly, and Fundly takes, first of all, people have critiques of it as like taking too many fees and stuff from the donations, but then also the way it works is it just like deposits the money in your account. It doesn't it's never flowing directly to the charity. It always passes through you.
I don't like that.
Yeah. So like there's just questions at this point, basically, about, is this some sort of scam? Is it like a tax game? Is she donating all of that money?
Probably not.
Yeah. So these are all the public things that we know about her. Based on that, and I mean, I know I've kind of like poisoned the well here, but like, what are your thoughts about all the things that we know about her as a public person?
I mean, as you kept, I'm like, there's more. There's more. Like I'm really hung up on the live shows, and that these are minors and their parents are there, and that still, even as a one-off, I'd be like, no, like and I'm actually, from what you said earlier, just about her, floored. Like, I know she's been on YouTube for a long time, but I didn't know she had all like the live shows she did, books and TV shows. And I can't say that I remember if I ever like actually watched any of her content. I just know her face. So I can't say it's not funny, but I'm gonna just go ahead and say it's not funny. But again, it probably appeals to a younger audience, and everyone has different things. I'm just confused how it's all of this. But people always get away with things, especially if they are of a lighter hue. It takes longer for them, I guess, for everyone to put it together or care about it.
Yeah. I think I was shocked. I have felt shocked the same way I felt about Shane Dawson, of like, you guys just knew that he was doing this and we're okay with it? Like, because I didn't watch him growing up. I only started watching him when he started making the documentary things. So like finding out all the stuff that he was doing back in the day, I was like, whoa. So you guys were just okay with this? Like, I've had very much those same things about her public.
NBD.
Like, what?
Yeah, now I'm like, what the heck is private if all of this is public?
Oh, girl. Just strap in.
God.
Oh, one other public thing that's funny. I mean, it's gross, but of all the things we're going to talk about, it's at least like just embarrassing and not criminal. Her father, allegedly criminal. Her father, for a very long time, had a publicly available playlist that people found that he clearly didn't realize was publicly available, and it was called Want, and it was all inflation fetish stuff.
What?
So like videos of like people like consuming helium to make their bellies grow, or like
This is a thing?
apparently, which
When
I
you
also
said
think is
inflation
interesting.
fetish, I'm like, who is fetishizing inflation? These prices are not cute. I was just at the grocery store.
He's got a Dow Jones ticker, just like watching
He's
it
like,
go
oh,
up and
yes,
up.
the economy is wrecked.
Oh my god!
Wow, I did not know. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because there's really a fetish, a kink, a thing for everything, but inflation?
Yeah, which is hard. I mean, it's not hard. It was only adults in those videos. It was
Yeah,
not, I
hey,
mean, whatever.
that's
Like you do
good.
you, boo boo. But like,
Interesting, but good. I'm glad it's only adults.
well, and I thought that was so interesting in light of the fact that she allegedly has some kind of like ED/body checking issue where she's trying to be thin. But then I did see that Adam McIntyre pointed out that when she was pregnant, oh, I also haven't, yeah, that's something else we should talk about publicly. At some point, she pivoted once she started having kids to being a family blogger.
Ugh.
So another red flag. And so is one of her brothers is also a big family blogger.
Ew.
Yeah. But she has like these thumbnails of her pregnant belly shot in the same way that the dad's inflation videos were shot. And it's like, there's some Oedipal realness happening over there, or whatever the female equivalent of Oedipus is. I don't know what's going on, but it just seems very weird and very like, oh, I don't know about this. Okay, so that's all the public stuff. What precipitated people putting together all this public stuff was something that came out of nowhere earlier this year.
Yeah.
So Adam McIntyre, who we mentioned, he was the kid who got sent the lingerie. When he made that video, after she made her apology video, he got really, like, his life was hell online, it sounds like. Her fans were constantly harassing him. People didn't believe him or thought that he was just trying to like tell his story for clout. Like, he just had a really hard time with things, but he bounced back. I started following him during that time because I felt really bad for him, but I started like genuinely watching his videos because he's a very funny kid. Like, he does drama video kind of things, and he's very like, he's just very witty. He's a funny kid. I see why Colleen was apparently really taking advantage of a lot of his labor. As we'll find out here in a minute. But so what precipitated this is that somebody at the time had also made like an anti-Adam video smearing him. And that person came forward and showed that Colleen had given this person, Cody Rants, had given her entire DM history with Adam, and had essentially given her all the information to make this smear video about him.
She loves having people do her work, huh?
Yeah. So actually, let me show you. And again, this I think is just a good clip, and it's very sad, but it shows just how young Adam was when he first started being her fan. And this is the person who she is now like attacking and smearing.
Quiet. No, he's a kid.
I just like, you have no idea how awful that period was. And to literally see messages that Colleen is like texting with someone being like, we're going to frame this as him being manipulative. We're going to frame this as him being awful. We're going to frame this doing all this. And the worst part about it is like, sorry, I'm trying my best to hold this together because I know people will be like, oh, you're faking it or whatever. I can respect that. But, hold on, I just want
to a literal kid. And then I was like, my plan is to paint the video show Adam.
And again, Cody is a victim too, so this is not against Cody, but
manipulates you into trusting them and had a master plan to take you down when you got mad about the Miranda thing. Like, girl, you don't have that.
I just like, whenever I read that and like I look at like these, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited for the Miranda show, and it's like me as like a kid
Oof.
or like me at the meet and greet or something like that. Or like just like the countless times that like whatever. And it was like,
He's a baby.
to know that like one day like these were the things that she would be doing to me, or
So I just thought that was important to show of like he was like a real fan and he was a child.
Literally.
Like
a baby.
he looks like he's
So
8.
small.
Yeah. So
Wow.
he finds Cody posts that video. He finds out that like she orchestrated this whole thing to take him down.
Mhm.
Now you may be asking yourself, how did she orchestrate this? Well, lucky for her, she'd already had a bunch of group chats with these fans going on the side.
How many?
Well, I'm not sure totally how many group chats there were, but I think that in at least one of the group chats, I know there were 23 people in there, all of whom were between the ages of like 12 and 17.
Why? What are they talking about?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. And I do want to keep in mind, she is in her late 20s, early 30s when these conversations are happening. Things that they're talking about include Adam asking everyone, "Hey guys, what should I do for my Q&A for my YouTube channel?" And her question is, "Are you a virgin? What's your favorite position?" Hey girls, what do you guys think? Or what did you guys think when you first got your period?
Why? What?
A girl asks, again, I'll just let Adam tell you this because this is one that made me literally gasp.
Reconnecting with the weenies, I have remembered with all of us sharing stories that we had an inside joke with Colleen, which had to do with tampons. Now, all of us in this group chat ranged from the age of 13 to around 17, and there may have been a couple that were older than that, but the main demographic of this group chat were like 14, 15, 16-year-olds, and there were a couple that were younger and a couple that were older, right? And one day, Colleen came in and was talking about periods, like I showed in my previous video, that full message of her being like, I shit through myself, I bled through myself, blah, 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 right? And someone was asking that they were trying to figure out how to use a tampon or something, and Colleen sent the following video to basically show them how to do that.
I swear I'm not high.
Then this
So I think that's supposed to be funny. But she then goes on to have them all go bring their own tampons to the show that she was having and come up on stage with her to take a picture of them all putting tampons in their mouths.
Ew. What is funny about tampons are not funny. Okay, they're
No,
expensive and I'm sick of them. But that is such a I don't even know what to call it. I'm just like, why is the question I keep having.
Well, it's like, okay, we'll get there. But eventually I want us to talk through like why is any of this happening? Because like you can see I don't think she's trying to have sex with these kids. But it's so inappropriate and exploitative. Like okay. What else happens in this group chat? She goes through this big, very nasty public divorce, and she's like ranting about it to this group chat of teenagers, talking about how like her husband was abusive or like how he cheated on her. She starts getting with this new guy and starts asking for like tips about how to flirt with him. Talks about their sex life and his penis size.
Does she not have friends her own age?
She does have a best friend named Corey who lives with her, has always lived with her, even though she is married with children at this point.
That's interesting.
And he will come back up because I'm taking you through like in order of how disturbing this stuff is. So she, okay, what else? It's so much. Okay, also through the course of this group, like these DMs getting exposed, we've realized that Adam basically was working for her for free for years as a child. And she would like kind of dangle, she would mention like, "Oh, I'm going to make you my social media intern. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that." So he thought I mean, fair enough that this adult who's talking to him about all of these adult things and like sees him as a friend is going to give him this job someday. So she's just taking advantage of his labor for years.
Jesus.
There's also this story from this fan named Johnny who was working for her on tour and he got treated terribly. There's another story which I'm not going to show you, but where basically Adam was arranging to meet up with her in Dublin, which is not where he's from but is near, and she like flaked out on him and left him alone when he was 14 in this big city. Luckily his mom kind of thought something weird was going on, so she was like waiting around the corner.
Mhm.
But she just left this child alone in a big city by himself. And anyway, I thought that was very egregious. And then the last thing I'll say that she did in these group chats is, or well, there's one other thing, but it's one of the worst, is that you don't know who really Trisha Paytas is yet. I think we have to do that at
I
some point.
know of her, just like seen her on like TikTok, but I never watched anything on YouTube.
She's not a good person, but what Colleen did with this is really gross. So Trisha has been on like private Patreon / OnlyFans for a long time. There's a lot of videos and images of her naked body out there, and she would send that to Adam and make fun of Trisha's naked body. But the context of that is you are sending naked pictures of an adult to a child.
I am so confused. She doesn't have any fans at least over.
It's so, yeah. I don't understand the why behind this. Okay, the 3 worst stories I save for last because I think they're the most disturbing. So her best friend Corey had another group chat going called Corey's Clit.
What? Who was in this group chat? Teens as well?
Teens as well. A voice note surfaced of him saying to that group chat, like, "I love you guys so much. You guys are like my best friends. I don't have other friends besides Colleen, and you guys are my only friends. Now can you go attack this other person online?" Like very directly grooming behavior of like love bombing and then asking them to do something. And then there's also an DM in that chat of somebody sending pornography. And somebody literally, once somebody sends it, says, "I'm almost 18.
How old is he?
Same age as Colleen, like early 30s.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great.
So that's one of the worst ones. Ella was a mega fan of Colleen, and she is transgender, and she was very sick as a teen. So she got a lot of attention from Colleen, and Colleen kind of like it was known that Ella was a super fan and that Colleen was very supportive of her. So like kind of using Ella for clout. And all of these DMs came out where behind the scenes, Colleen was making fun of her gender identity, and also telling people that she was faking her illness to get close to Colleen.
Jesus.
And that she was going to use that as inspiration for a TV show.
I am done.
Yeah. The worst one is the thing that I think you could say is actually illegal. So Colleen, like I said, has a couple of siblings. Like her whole family has gotten famous from her. including her brother Trent, who DMs have come out, and I'm not even going to tell you all the things he says in this, but it is literally pedo stuff. It's him grooming this underage person named Ollie and love bombing them, asking how old they are, asking can they come to LA, asking them if they're like talking to them about their sexuality, asking them if they've had sex with someone, trying to get them to text him and like telling them to stay up and not go to sleep so that they can keep talking to him, redoing a bunch of pictures of Ollie and like giving them a special nickname and just like
How old is Ollie?
Ollie was 13. And he certainly knows this because he asked them their age like 10 times just in the screenshots I saw.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And he has children.
I don't know if he has children, but he's one of her
that's not the
brothers.
family vlogger. Okay.
He's not the family vlogger, but he might have kids. I don't know. He certainly, if I were Colleen, I would not let him around my kids.
I mean, it's gross nonetheless, but for some reason it adds a level of grossness to me when you have children and you prey on children.
Yeah. I mean, totally agree. And and at the beginning of their text chain, he's like, I'm not supposed to be texting with people who are under 18, but I do it because I like to spread positivity. And Ollie says, oh, why can't you text with people under 18? And he said, my family. So like, she knows, somebody in the family knows enough to tell him he should not be doing this. And yet she's like platforming him. Like the only reason any of these kids know who Trent is because she has had him on her channel. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whole family trash. Well, not whole, but all.
I guess that's, yeah. So I feel like I've just been talking at you. I'm sorry that this is one that's so much of me talking and not enough of Jess talking, but like, this is what my tabs have been filled with because it's just like every day a new DM set comes out that you're just like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, who does this?
I don't think they're thinking. That's because how would you as an adult think that any of this is a good idea, like remotely? It's just I feel like the group chats with fans is already weird because I feel like there just needs to be a boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're minors, which is good God. But those Jesus. And so what started this? Did the video, what was his name?
Adam.
Did he make that video recently? Is that why all of this, or okay?
Yeah, well, so the person who helped take him down back in 2020 posted a like apology video basically of like, I was a part of this and I shouldn't have been. And so that brought, and Adam hadn't shared a lot of the stuff we talked about. He didn't share most of it. He only shared the lingerie and the fact that he was behind that tweet. That was really all he talked about in his original video. And Cody, when she made her video, or when they made their video, exposed all of these DMs, including the like, are you a virgin? Like all of these inappropriate things that he hadn't even brought up at the time.
Damn.
So it's like, and it gives him credibility because it's like, well, you really could have like ended her back then and you didn't.
And so she does family vlogging on her Miranda or her channel.
She has 3 channels, one of which is a family vlog channel.
I want family vlogging to be illegal.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Ew. How many kids does she have?
She has at least 3. She has a son and then twins. I think she might have had a 4th. Yeah, so that's why this is all coming up again. She is actively on tour right now.
Oh. And so she hasn't. Oh, you said she didn't post. She hasn't posted anything or acknowledged anything.
No, she hasn't responded yet.
Do you think she will?
Well, considering that Rolling Stone just wrote an article about this, Huffington Post, NBC, this is getting. He's losing sponsors.
He's going down.
Well, I mean, is she though?
I hope,
because I mean,
she needs to be deplatformed.
She should not be allowed around children. I think that I feel very comfortable saying. But there are people who are still defending her.
For what? Like, what is their defense?
It's not that bad. She's not actually trying to like do anything with these kids. She's just being a little bit weird.
That way, no.
I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't even understand. I've heard several people mention directly, like, well, if she were a guy, I would feel a little differently about this. And I'm like,
why?
But why?
It's still creepy. She's an adult.
Yeah. Can you imagine right now? Because we are the same age. We're maybe a little older than she was at the time. Can you imagine having a group chat with a bunch of 15-year-olds?
No, I
for
can't
fun?
even imagine talking to one as innocently. Like, they just feel like they're on a different planet than I am.
What do I have to say
would
to them?
Why? Yes. What do we have to talk about? Why would I want to ask them or vent to them about any of my adult problems or issues? That's why I have adult friends. That's so strange.
It's bizarre. So like that's the open question. I think this is part of why some people are doubting is like, why would she do this?
I don't
know. I don't know if you have thoughts about that, but
no. I don't know. It's very strange to me. I don't get it. I have no clue. Like, no inkling, especially the live. Like, why can't you, or at least your group chat, be people? I guess you can't verify. I don't know. I just think the group chats are a bad idea with your fan base.
Yeah.
Like, altogether.
Even as micro influencers, I cannot imagine having a private group chat of people who follow me.
Yeah.
That feels
is
weird.
about as far as it's gonna go.
Like, Discord is one thing where everyone can see it.
Yeah.
But it's
just like, I don't know you. That's weird. Yeah, I wish I could think of a reason why. It's just so. But even if, again, it's not necessarily malicious intent, she needs to stop. That's gross. It makes me I don't even have children, and that's just weird to me.
Yeah.
Why do you need to be talking to them? Everything she did with that, leave it. Wow, he was truly a baby.
I don't know. I was talking about this with my best friend who's a psychologist, because I was asking her, like, the only thing missing from this is what it seems to me an intent to actually do something sexual with these children. But otherwise, I would just call this person a pedo. Like, this is all grooming behavior to me. Like, these inappropriate comments, being weird about your parents knowing what you're talking about. Like, but it doesn't seem so. Like, why? And obviously she doesn't know anything about the situation, but her initial reaction was just like, sometimes, like, that sounds to me like maybe somebody who's really stunted in their sexual development and is almost looking at these conversations as like between peers of like the kinds of conversations you would have as a teenager with other teens.
Yeah.
And she does have like some religious trauma, it sounds like. She also has all those jokes about her uncle molesting her. So, like, maybe those aren't jokes. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of, is that, like, something. I mean, clearly something's off with the whole family.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on.
Ooh. Yeah, maybe a lot of that, what she makes as jokes, is true, but it's like you need therapy, and you need to not be talking to children about it. I mean, it's just, you need to, I don't know, find a way to appeal to older people or something. It's just weird. That would be now I'm intrigued to watch these because I've seen some of the TikToks that I'm like, I don't know, so I would scroll past. But now
you at least know the foundation. So whenever she comes out with some sort
Her
of whack apology,
ugh,
or maybe she won't. Maybe she'll try to tough it out.
it's always the wackadoos, the undeserved, always kidding. Why are these people always have a platform and have money?
I don't know. I mean, James Charles is still out there consequence free, even though he admitted that he was talking to people who are underage.
I don't get it. When people are like canceling, I'm like, there's rarely ever a true cancellation of someone where like they are deplatformed or they're like severely affected financially or something, because people just, I guess, don't care.
I think they just forget after
whatever.
a while.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of going on. There's a lot of people doing things in the world, but like some of the big ones, like James Charles and Shane. I don't.
He's still out there making content, and I mean, like
Jake Paul or Logan, whichever one of those
was
filming in the forest, and I'm just like they do some pretty egregious things, and there's documentation of it, and people are like, oh, and they're like, oh, I don't remember anymore.
I don't understand that.
But not that I condone anything that Mike Vick did, but anytime that man pops up, someone's like, oh, remember when I'm like, oh, now we can remember what people did in the past.
Well, I mean, I don't forget these things. Now there's some people who I think grow from it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some people who it's like, yeah, that was a fucked up thing to do, but you seem to have like truly grown from it, truly taken the lesson, whatever. I mean, I think people can change, but like, I'm not forgetting what you did.
Yeah.
And if you haven't changed, and it doesn't seem like there's any indication she has, why? I just think sometimes you might not be canceled as a human, but sometimes you just can't keep doing a career.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you are a lawyer and you do something bad enough, you get disbarred and you can't keep being a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a very similar thing to me of just sometimes you just cross a line where you just can't keep being what you were.
You lose in other career. That's the weird thing about like content creation, influencer culture is I guess it's harder to inflict consequences because in other things like that, get disbarred or you lose a medical license or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of influencer culture, I hope I want the end because there's a Shein brand trip and I've had enough. I
saw a couple of tweets about that.
I had enough. I am sick of it. Everyone, we need skilled laborers. I want people to learn a trade, go to work because I'm so sick of this. Like, stop making podcasts, except not us, But I'm talking about men mostly. There are some women too out here talking nonsense into microphones. But I'm just like, end it all. The YouTube really created something very interesting. And I mean, I am grateful for YouTube. Obviously, I wouldn't have met you without YouTube. But some people just really,
yeah, I don't know. This is something I need to do some like tab digging on. How YouTube got to be the way that it is.
Mm-hmm.
And why there are so many awful people drawn to it.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of shadiness, a lot of terrible people who have literally built empires from
being horrible.
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm sorry I didn't have anything fun for us to talk about today. Like none of this was fun.
Close those tabs.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to. I'm gonna be looking now to see if she's gonna say anything or what's gonna happen.
We'll find out.
I'll keep my eyes peeled.
Yeah, I don't know. Her tour hasn't been canceled yet, which if I were her, I would not want to be on stage with all this going on, but maybe she has obligation. I don't know. But breaking in from the future, I did not think we were going to need to do this, but how could I? Yeah. I didn't think we would need to respond to Colleen's response because I just could never have imagined that she would respond to what we have discussed in this episode with a ukulele.
Dang it, I don't have mine. It's in my room. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah. That's a missed opportunity for a meme.
I don't have one. But yeah, of all things, it can be like, oh, how's her response going to be? Never would have thought it would be to the tune of a little song. Nope.
Toxic Gossip Train, which I will say is very catchy. I've had it in my head on and off since it was released.
I mean, so did it work?
I mean, it succeeded in reminding me what a piece of shit she is every time I think of it.
Did she run that by PR? Do you think?
There's no way anybody approved her doing it. Like, there's zero chance one of her team actually said, like, yeah, this is fine. She must have done it against their advice.
She's like, I know what's best. Stand by.
Toxic Gossip Train.
So I'm gonna lay it on them. They're not gonna know it hit them.
It's like, guys, I know what to do in this situation. I've been preparing for this my whole life.
Just a song. Everyone will be fine. Allegations, underage people talking about people's bodies. Sing it away. Toxic Train. It's like less difficult.
Well, and it's like so total normies have now heard about this. Like people who are not terminally online like me, like know about this because it's, I mean, first of all, it's been in like Rolling Stone and Huffington Post and whatever, but that response was so amazingly cringe that total normies have heard about it because of how just like I've never cringed harder in my entire life. I had to text you because you were the only person at the time who I knew about all this. And I was like, what is happening right now? What am I watching?
Oh my God. I love when things that are very niche or more niche make it to the general public because I can only imagine people are like, what the hell is this?
What the fuck?
And you're just like, welcome.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, this is on the extreme end, but if people would just be online more, they would get to hear about all kinds of crazy things like this.
Hello? So. What are you people doing? Get your screen time numbers up.
Yeah, exactly. Stop touching grass and pick up that phone.
Come on, be Lulu with us. Then what were her remaining? I don't know how many she had left, but weren't the remaining parts or stops on her tour canceled?
Yes, that's correct. So the remaining tour that she was on got canceled, shockingly enough. One correction because I finished editing the original recording, and then one other juicy detail. Correction. I said that she had sent Trisha Paytas pictures of Trisha Paytas naked to her fans, including minors. And at the time, I was under the impression that like Trisha has just been naked a lot online. And I thought that not that makes it okay, but I did not realize that it was specifically her work as a sex worker images. So it was like full on pornography that she was sending to these kids. Like videos and images.
And what was her reasoning for this?
It was to be mean to Trisha, to like make fun of Trisha with these children by sending them porn. And she would host like viewing parties for her adult friends of Trisha's porn. Just think about this, Jess. What if you found out that I was sending totally clothed normal pictures of you to our friends and talking about what you look like at them?
That would still be strange. But
right? And having viewing parties for this pornography. Yeah.
I probably went to someone's house and I'm like, oh, I want watch a movie. And they put on, I'd be like, what the hell is wrong with you?
I am
I'm going
leaving.
home.
Yeah, lose my number. I don't want
Oh,
to talk to you anymore.
Blocked.
Yeah,
That is, who are these people that she hang?
I don't know. But Trisha Paytas came out and was like, "This is disgusting." Because
You know you're doing
Trisha
bad when
Paytas,
she say that.
well, yeah, that. But also, Trisha Paytas had a podcast going with her at the time this all broke.
With Colleen?
Yes.
So she just sat there in her face and was like, keying while she's sending.
I mean, she's like, like, this is my opinion, allegedly. She's just like a really bad person, I think. And I don't know why, but like, she is not a kind person.
She needs help.
Yeah.
And not musical help. She needs help. She's there. Ooh, that I didn't understand anything that she's done. Like sending the lawn, like none of it makes sense to me. Not like much corrupt things or abuse make, like it's just so random and illogical and weird, and I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just it must be that she comes from a very broken place for reasons that are far above my ability to understand. But so speaking of getting help, the last update is that she has actually gotten some help. She has gotten a lawyer whose other famed clients include Prince Andrew, Danny Masterson, Armie Hammer, Bryan Singer. So she is now literally.
You must be lying to me.
No,
the Pervo, Prince Andrew, the human eater, Army allegedly, Hammer, the sexual assault, anybody.
Yeah, he's a famous defense attorney for notoriously like disgusting people.
Okay, well, she belongs there, so yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, that feels like an admission of guilt to me. Like the fact that that's who you hire feels like you're saying
like,
you
I'm
did
the
this.
worst, so I need someone who works for the worst.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So, her PR team got this really horrible, like, pro Colleen article in Vanity Fair published. He's been, like, making some comments. So she's, I think, trying to run some damage control, but, like, girl, that damage control was done as soon as we saw you staring like a angry child in timeout at us before you picked up that ukulele. Like,
oh, we must know she's serious. Look at her face.
She was so
I didn't
pissed
know
the
much
entire
about
time.
this woman, and I'm just mad at all that I've had to learn about her.
I know. I'm sorry.
I didn't like that lipstick. I know there was. I love when my intuition is proved right. Not like I love that she did these things, but when you just everyone or a lot of people are a fan of something, you're like, something ain't right, and then it comes at you like, I knew it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the vibes are toxic, like a gossip train.
Ooh. Maybe there'll be a remix. Maybe her lawyer's helping her work on a remix, a club mix.
That like some dubstep.
Yeah. I don't know what the youths are doing these days. I don't know where do they club? I don't know. Do they rave? I'm not sure.
I'm too old to know. Too old to know.
Yeah.
But I think for now we can actually close these tabs, and we just had to respond to that because I just felt the episode was incomplete without addressing it. So we'll throw you back to the
yeah.
I guess get that coin while you can, because
that's one thing, they will always be getting their money.
Well, I don't think she's going to be able to get money for much longer. So, you got
some savings.
4 kids to take care of. So
no more avocado toast for you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that really is what she's spending her money on. So.
Yep.
She's going to make that best friend start paying rent who lives with her.
What is...
That's also very strange. I don't want to like I like the idea of alternative family arrangements, but it is weird to me to have, and he's gay, so it's like I don't think there's anything romantic between them, but like it's kind of weird to me to have your best friend living with you and your partner and your kids. I just for like years. It seems unusual.
Quite. That's strange.
But you can say that about most of her stuff. So anyway, I hope next time you give us something more fun to talk about.
Okay.
But this is what I have been deep on.
I'll try to find something more lighthearted.
I know, like the Russian invasion, or I don't know. Maybe if some billionaires do something else foolish, you can help us
eat themselves into space and never come back.
Oh well, Elon is trying to do that, right?
So hopefully, bye, go, explode, don't come back.
Was he the one with the dick rocket ship, or was that Bezos? One of them had a rocket ship that looked like a dick.
I don't know. I hate them both. I don't know.
Well, Jess, hopefully next time we'll have something more fun to talk about. But yeah, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me at Said by Jess on Instagram and TikTok. Jess Owens on YouTube. Those are the main places.
Check out her TikTok. She's always glowing. And you can find me at Books Like Whoa on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. Yeah. Closing these tabs. Ooh. Not for good because more keeps coming out, but for now, closing the tabs. And we'll talk to you guys again soon.
Bye.